Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on a new chapter of Nanatsu no Taizai, or you could call it the 7 Deadly Sins, on chapter 253. Now, I let you all know that the translations for this chapter is not from our main translators. I mean, for the time being, I'm pretty sure they're kind of busy with their own things after what just happened yesterday, by the way. And that was a very intense game. Aside from me being off topic and being irrelevant to certain topics, let's just get this chapter started, recap started. We have to it that Elizabeth gazes at the sky in her room and tells Meliodas to wait for her, as we get a reminder that there's only 2 days remaining until Elizabeth's curse activates. And we go back to the boar's hat with King tending to Diane and Elaine right now, especially when Elaine's whispering Bond's name along with Diane whispering Elizabeth's name, and we have to it that King talks out loud by saying, "Captain Bond, please come back to us. You hear me?" And we have to it that Merlin is fixing up Gotha right now and actually calls his creator a genius as he's trying to fix and add stuff to you, but your master designed you so powerfully that it's really being difficult. When we have to it that Gotha asks Merlin, "Can I have a request?" And Merlin's like, "Did you not listen to what I said? Don't ask me to improve your performance because I might not be able to do so." And we have to it that Gotha tells Merlin, "To be honest, it'd be surprised how quickly this little kid is understanding stuff. I wonder how far this flower will grow." I like that a lot. And we have to it that Merlin says, "Well, I'll do what I can. What can I do? I will try it, but I can't guarantee it." And we have to it that Gotha asks Merlin something which is not said on screen, but Merlin literally says, "Are you really insane? Is that your request? Is that related to that thing you once told me of you when you were part of the 10 Commandments that ended the Holy War?" And we have to it that excuse me, that Merlin was actually surprised that Gotha wants that request, but I think she's gonna grant it anyway. We have to it that Hawk and Escanor are walking through town, and Hawk is asking Escanor, "Do we really have to fight Meliodas?" And Escanor is like, "What about it? When the times come, we'll have to deal with it." Of course, Hawk on the other hand says Meliodas and Lady Elizabeth are doing what they're doing because they care for one another. Can't we do something that doesn't involve violence? Which pretty much concerns for Hawk. And we have to it that Escanor goes I'm really jealous of those two. And Hawk's like, "What did you say?" And we have to it that Escanor asks Hawk, "What does Merlin-sama think about me?" What Merlin thinks about you? And we have to it that I think that Hawk explains by day a mustache man full of muscles and vigor, and by night a mustache man that's small and weak. And Escanor's like, "That is simply an explanation of what I am." We have to it that Escanor says, "Indeed, I can be most attractive to the majority of women, but if I'm not to the one I love, then it's all for naught." And then Hawk's like, "Where did all that come from? Why don't you ask it directly if you're confident?" And we have to it that Escanor goes "I cannot." And Hawk's like, "Why not?" And then Escanor's like, "Maybe you can ask it for me. Is this the way you ask for help?" And we have to it that there's some screaming here and there, and we have to it that Escanor says, "I must say, by day it is quite noisy in here." Of course, he's squeezing Hawk by accident. And we have to it that people are getting drunk. It says, "Hey, wow, all the 4 archangels here are here. We won't lose," etc. While the other angels are literally just enjoying themselves. We have to it that I think Tarmiel are being insulting to the humans by saying, I think Ludicel is literally insulting the humans by saying, "Lowly humans of any age keep drinking this poison and cause a commotion." And we have to it that Tarmiel, I believe, says only they are capable of brewing this. The Gods Clan is not able to do poison like this whatsoever. While Sariel goes "This poison is okay for children, right?" And we have to it that that Ludicel and Margaret's body managed to clear his head, etc., and ends up realizing a certain aura. And we have to it that Hawk's "Hey, well, let's get back, you know? Well, the materials required to fix Gotha have been bought, so let's go back. And we have to it that Escanor, like, literally asked Hawk, I really meant it when I asked you for your help. Can you do it? And Hawk literally just tells Escanor, I already told you. You simply need to ask her. And we have to it that Escanor was concerned about this and says, it seems like to me we have some guests. And Hawk's like, huh? And we have to it that Marguerite, well, that's Ludishell, and Marguerite's body shows up in front of Escanor and says, and talks to him. But Escanor says, you are one of the 4 archangels. Who is it that took that body of the king's daughter, right? What? And we have to it that, that Ludishell asks, where were you during the night? And Escanor's like, I'm sorry. It pleases me greatly when smaller folk look upon me from below. And we have to it that, Ludishell says, was he at the meeting last night? And we have to it that Ludishell realizes something, and Escanor tells Ludishell, like, let me introduce myself once more. I am Escanor, the sin of pride of the 7 deadly sins. And we have to it that Escanor explains to Ludishell, like, I didn't feel it last night. How were you able to hide your power? As Ludishell asks, I think. But Escanor explains, like, I didn't hide it. My power does not manifest itself during the night. And we have to it that Ludishell says, I was right. And we have to it that Ludishell asks Escanor, let me guess. After the sun rises, your strength slowly increases, and around noon it reaches its highest. And we have to it that Escanor goes like, huh, it seems my curse is notorious inside the goddess clan. And we have to it that Ludishell says, your curse? Don't talk to me like that. Where did you steal that power from? As Ludishell tries to attack Escanor. And Escanor's like, what the hell do you want? You have no reason to attack me so suddenly. Aren't human and goddesses allies now? And we had to that Ludishell tells Escanor to answer my question. And Escanor's like, I don't understand your question. And we have to it that Hawk's telling Ludishell, like, I think you're confused about what the hell is going on here. And we have to it that, like, that Escanor says, you know, even though you're in the body of a princess, you are quite agile. And he ends up trying to capture, ends up grabbing Ludishell, but he ends up escaping somehow. As he cut Escanor's clothes without knowing. And we had to it that, like, Ludishell explains to Escanor, like, this power is the blessing given to me by the supreme deity to the four archangels. It's similar to the decrees given by the Demon King to the 10 Commandments. Have you heard of them? And we have to it that Ludishell explains, like, that that Ludishell's power is Flash, and while Sariel is Tornado and Tarmiel is the Ocean, which I go like, hold up, Flash, Tornado, and Ocean? And the last one was Sunshine, which Ludishell says that his dead brother used to have. And all of a sudden, he explains that he knows his power because his strength would rise at sunrise, and when it was around noon, he took pride in himself as someone that even I could not possibly hope to be on par with. And we have to it that, like, Ludishell explains that his brother, Mal, is the one that has been defeated by the 10 Commandments and his blessing went missing. And we have to it that Escanor explained, you're saying that this blessing is the power that I possess? We have to it that Ludishell explains, like, any human who receives a blessing from the supreme deity, their body would be shattered into pieces. You should be aware of that. And even Ludishell tells Escanor Arpa, saying, you better be careful, because if you don't wish to die, you better get rid of that blessing immediately. And we have to it that Escanor explained, I'm not interested. Sunshine is a power that lies within me since I was born, as Escanor explained. So you say this blessing is only meant for the goddesses, then that means that I am the very strongest, and therefore he melts freaking like Ludishell's sword, and therefore Escanor says, be grateful as long as I am on your side. Victory is guaranteed. And therefore Hawk's like, Escanor pride knows no bounds. And I'm like, dude, Escanor's Escanor. His pride is like, hi, Hawk, you should understand that. And we have to it that Ludashell just laughs and says, I like your attitude. In that case, do try to be useful. And Esconor's like, haha, you're such a loser, as long as you don't get in my way. And therefore, it looks like between these two, there's a conflict unavoidable, and it runs really deep. So, it looks like to me, Sunshine was a blessing, surprisingly, and it actually, like, belonged to Mal or something, to my surprise and shock. Although I will say this though, I really wish that it was actually just a pure powerful magic power that's just like made out of nowhere, and it's just fate alone, just given to Escanor, that he is meant to be very strong, you know. I thought it could be like that, but I guess maybe in many cases to try to make sense or try to make things maybe interesting or just make things flow or fit in the category, I guess like I guess the Sunshine ability is supposed to be like a blessing from the goddess alone, I guess, because I don't know if Fate alone would just like give out a random magic power like that Nakaba Sensei would want to do, but I don't know. But aside from that, this chapter right here, in simple words, is just like, whatchamacallit, Merlin fixing up Gother's body after he got contorted and all messed up, etc., while Elizabeth is thinking to herself that she will rescue Meliodas, while Elaine and Deanne are really concerned about Bon and Elizabeth, while King is wondering is thinking out loud, Captain Bon, please come back safely, okay? While we don't really know what Bon is doing, we have to it. There is a scene with Escanor asking Hawk like, hey, you know, can you ask Merlin what I think or something, what she thinks of me. And we have to the Hawk's like, can't you ask her yourself? But Escanor's like, I don't know if I can do that. No, I'm like, whatever. But the scene with like Ludashell and Escanor, I got a really bad feeling that these two are gonna have a major problem having to cooperate. Maybe Ludashell himself alone, because he just attacked Escanor out of nowhere and should have just talked with him. But this stupid butthole ends up saying lowly humans or something. I should just rip his freaking mouth off or throw his freaking vocal cords out of his throat. Of course, Escanor just tells Ludashell like, be grateful I'm on your side. You know, Sunshine is a power that lies within me since I was born. So we have to it that Ludashell just says, you know, let's just get along and try to be useful. And Escanor's like, you're such a loser, just don't get in my way. I mean, this, like I said, this chapter is about like everyone else trying to think about Meliodas while Gother is being repaired, and Gother asks Merlin a request of what's to come, which Merlin's like, are you really serious about this? And of course, the scene with Escanor and Hawk was really hilarious, especially Ludashell attacking Escanor. I'm afraid Ludashell and Escanor is really going to have a major bad cooperation, because if we all know Ludashell, he's a total like jerk. Total jerk. I mean, we all know that. If you ever been up to date or been reading Taizai in a correct format, you will understand. But yeah, looking forward to the next chapter, which is called Camelot in Despair. So I don't know what the despair is gonna be, but it's not gonna be pretty. So yeah, like I said at the beginning, like we did not get our main translators to like translate this episode, but these translations seems to be more fitting enough. So until then, I'll see you guys in my next video. So I'm off to Zero people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright? Peace out. Bye bye. Doo-doo-doo!